Welcome back to Dubbzi Bricks for another episode of building Gotham City in Lego. In the last update, we made a start on the Gotham rebuild, as we're calling it at the moment, and got the new ramp all in place. And this is something I want to be working on in this update, is the bridge that's going to connect the ramp to the raised platform area. But first of all, I want to do is have a good clear up of this area so it's a lot easier to work. And what I'm also going to do is put the bridge back across the city there. I think it's just going to be a lot easier for me to visualise things when I see that all in place. And also, it gets off of the floor of the Lego room. So let's start off by having a little bit of a tidy up, and let's get that bridge back in place. And it's so nice having the bridge back in place, and it does make such a big difference to the visual of the city when you walk in. And just by having the bridge up, it just feels like a lot less destruction took place than actually did a few days ago. So yeah, happy to have that all up. I'm glad I have put it up now as well, as one of the things that I was going to be working on relatively soon was the submarine pen there and the iceberg lounge. And the pillar is now closer to the docks than was before. The bridge is in exactly the same position, but where the docks have moved down, it has meant it's that much closer. So I do need to have a good think about how it's all going to work in that section. Down here, there is very little room for the submarine to actually come out. So it's still going to be possible to have that as a feature within Gotham City. One thing I could do is potentially have it that the submarine comes out here, so it will come through the legs of the bridge there. That's a possibility. That might look quite cool, not sure, but we'll have a good think about all of these things before we make any starts on it. And I need to work on the statue there to fix the arms to the top section there as they keep falling down. The weight of them has basically ruined the hinge pieces that I was using. They no longer have the strength in them. But anyway, let's start tidying up the mess all around the Lego room, and then we'll decide on what we're going to work on next. And we're now turning our attention back to this ramp area just here. Now, there were a lot of comments in the video last time out about the doorway just here. Having a sliding door seemed to be a very popular option with a lot of people. And I have thought about it, and a sliding door was one of the things that I was originally going to put in here. However, due to the fact that I've got the road at a slight angle there and the way I've connected it all, there's not a great deal of room in there, and it's not something I'm really going to be using a great deal of, so I don't think it's really worthwhile adding the sliding door there. And I do like these doors here because it gives that boarded up effect to it, especially having the dark brown ones going across. So I am going to be leaving those doors on. So sorry to those of you that were hoping for a sliding door. It's not going to be happening, certainly not at this moment in time. One of the suggestions that did crop up was, or it was in, I think two people suggested, it was actually having a dumpster in front of it, which was attached to the door, so that when the door's open, the dumpster comes along with it. And I think that's a really good idea, because having the dumpster in front of it will give it the vibe that nothing's going on behind the boarded up area. So that is something I am going to look to add to it. There was a suggestion about putting a parking lot down there. However, you've only got 14 studs in width across there, so I don't think that's really going to be enough. There was another suggestion about having Lucius Fox's garage there, which I did really like. And had it been a little bit bigger or a little bit of a larger area, I do think that would have been a really good option. I'm just thinking I'm going to put the dumpster there, maybe add a couple of other little details that look really run down. But yeah, I think that's how I'm going to go for the time being. Now, there was another suggestion about having a train line coming out of here, which would make sense as the train line was coming. Originally, my vision was you'd imagine the train line comes round this way here. But I was thinking I could actually have the train line going across the road and then through into the raised platform area, because there is obviously the train lines under there. So that is something that I am considering at the moment. And then what I need to do is just put another boarded up area on there as well. And it'd be very easy for me to change the brickwork up on that particular section. And then I would just lower the train track into the actual road and the pavement itself. So it's like as if it was there years ago before all the changes took place. So plenty of things I just need to have a good think about. One other thing I'm going to be doing in this section just here is it's going to have a removable panel, and I'm going to have the power supply in there for the lights. I've got the extension cables, which I showed you, I think it was a couple of updates ago, where you can plug numerous USBs into it, and then they've each got their individual switch, so I can turn certain lights on and off as and when I want to do so. I think that'd be the perfect place to put it, because it can light up Wayne Terminus, the Batcave down the end, Turtle Lair, any structures that are on top of here, and also some of the lights on the bridge section. So that'd be the best place to hide the power supply. Anyway, let's start off by building this area up and getting that all ready. And then once I've done so, I'm then going to start turning my attention to the bridge coming across here, and also making a start on the road section on the race platform. And that's the bridge supports all going across, ready for the road to be rested on top. And I've started blocking this off here. And I've made this light here very similar in style to what we've got at the Joker's Funhouse. And that'll be going just in the Technic brick below there. And that'll give it just enough light to give it a moody effect in that section. Once I put the wire on, I'm going to build up the platform area just here so it's level with the road, plate it all off, do the same over the other side. And I'll be leaving the centre section clear for the time being until I start building the actual entrance, or the closed down entrance, should I say, to Old Wayne Terminus. And here we have the sides of the bridges all in place. Do need to do some details on the top of them, but I'll sort that out in a little bit. I'm filming from this side as there's so much rubbish in the way from that side that you can't really see it that easily, but it is the same style as what I've got on here. Now what I'm going to do is start doing the pavement section just along here, and then I build the road to go along there. Once I've done that, then I'll start looking at how I'm going to finish off the corners and also the tops of the bridge there. And here we have the first attempt at the road on top of the ramp, and relatively happy with how it's coming along. We've used the 2x2 bricks, plates and tiles on this section just here, so we've got a nice smooth transition from the ramp onto the top here. However, it's the lines here I don't like, and here as well. Here's not going to be too much of a problem because I'm going to have a cut plate in here where it's got the quarter circle cut out of a 4x4 plate. Now, with the lines here, there's no way for me to get them to curve around naturally. Now, I know numerous people have mentioned in the past that Brickcraft has done a curved road in his city. However, the curves is not as sharp as what this one is here. And also, he's not putting pavements or sidewalks on the side of the road. He's just covering it with bushes. So any gaps that are there are hidden underneath the plants. So yeah, it just doesn't work in a city like this, unfortunately. So I just need to come up with another solution for it. I was considering putting some sort of bollards up around here, so I could insert some snot bricks into the road to stop the traffic from going over onto the wrong lane. That is one option, which I think may possibly look a little bit better than these lines just here. Now, I know that's probably not accurate to what you would see on a road. I know in Dublin there is a roundabout that has got those to stop cars from going from one lane to the other. So yeah, I mean, it's just something I might experiment with it just to see how it looks. But I've used so many different pieces in this corner here just to get these lines looking like so. The bricks come this way, so I think they're pointing that direction. We've got these bricks are pointing that direction. We've had to use some brackets in here to fill the gaps. We've got a bracket just there to fill the gaps. So it has taken quite a while. And one of the other things I had to do was join this road to this one to help keep this down, because this just wants to spring up. Now, the plate that I'm going to put on the corner here, that's going to help to keep that down, but it does still naturally, as you can see, there's a little bit of a bounce there. So, yes, I just need to do a little bit more work on this at some stage. Whether or not I can get around to it in this update or not, I'm not sure. I might just have a good think about how I want it to look. I might go for a dotted white line down here as opposed to the double yellow. I don't think it needs to necessarily be the double yellow line, and I don't know if I need the white lines on the side. Part of me is quite liking this minimalistic look with the roads. I just think it looks nice and tidy. And next up, we're turning our attention to the section underneath the bridge or the road. And I want to get the sidewalk all tiled off down here, put a few trees down and sort the road section out as well. Once I've done that, I'm going to start adding a few more details. So hopefully we'll get to work on this section under here a little bit, or just tidy it up at least. But also, I've got an idea for what to put on the snot bricks on the wall. And we're just checking in one final time for this update. So we've got 5 trees all in place there, and really happy with how they've come out. I love this technique. I just think it looks so organic. It doesn't look like a Lego build to me. Now I am considering changing up the trunks of the tree to the candle pieces in brown. I think they look a little bit better rather than having the ridges on them or the lines in between each of the studs. So that's one thing I think I will be ordering in, as will some of the brown stem pieces, the plant stems. At the moment I'm using green and it really does stick out, so I need to change those over. And one other part I also need to order in is a red snot brick for the fire hydrant down there. The only snot bricks I had was in dark bluish grey with the studs on all four sides, so I just need to get one of those as well. Now over here we put the tile that Super Brick Figs sent us a few weeks back, and I think that looks fantastic on that wall there, especially with the bit of graffiti on there. I will leave a link to Super Brick Figs website in the description of the video, and I highly recommend checking out his products. The print quality is absolutely fantastic on these tiles, so it's a pleasure to be able to put one in Gotham City here. Now down the bottom here, where the entrance to the Old Way Terminus is, I haven't done a great deal down here, literally just tidied it up. I did try putting a bin on the door there, however the road is a couple of plates lower than the side bit here, so if I want that to work where it comes out with the door, I'm either going to have it suspended in midair or lower this section. So I just need to have another think about what I want to put in this area just here. But yeah, really happy to have this all tiled off, and it's just so nice seeing a more polished finish down here. We got the drain on the road just here, and I'm not sure about the light bluish grey there. I might change that over to dark bluish grey or possibly even black. And over here we got a grill, which I put some black parts in just to make it look like there's something going on below, some drains going on below there. But yeah, all in all, really happy with how this section is coming along. Now on the top here we have this corner, and this is where the train station is going to be. And I wanted to start putting some buildings on this section just here. However, the train track's going to be coming off. So until I know exactly where the train supports are going to be, I thought there's no point doing any more work in this area. So that's what I'm going to be concentrating on in the next update. I want to look at train supports again. We've got the big ones, which I'm really happy with in certain areas. However, if I can get some smaller ones, that would be quite good. And also on the front, we need the ones which are going to be going on the pavements. They're just going to be a single support coming up. So we'll be experimenting with that, as I mentioned. But the first thing I need to do is have a good tidy up. I've got boxes of bricks all over the table and they're in the way. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the update. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. And if you know anybody else you think would be interested in building Gotham City in Lego, if you could share the channel with them, it'd be much appreciated. Anyway, thanks for popping on by, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.